Hello, everyone. I welcome you all to another edition of our tutorial series on IT for non-programmers. So, in our last video, we discussed about Agile. So, and I've explained the reason why companies are trying to adopt Agile methodologies. So, in today's video, I'll be explaining about Agile Manifestos. Agile Manifestos. Agile Manifestos. So we all know the meaning of Agile, which I explain as a methodology or framework for building software on an incremental basis. And we all know the meaning of manifestos, which simply implies like a public declaration. So now let's now dive into some of the manifestos of Agile. So Agile have four manifestos, but before I proceed with the manifestos, I will have to explain some of the principles behind Agile manifestos. Principle behind Agile manifestos. I mean, while Agile has this public declaration, why did Agile has all these manifestos? The first principle behind the manifestos are Agile highest priority is to satisfy the customer. Agile highest priority is to satisfy the customer. Wow. I mean, this is like the major difference between agile and project management. Because project management, we are only managing the project. I mean, just to deliver the project. What if the customer is not impressed with your final project? So, I mean, let's assume I told you to design a software for me, and I'm frustrated with the software you developed. So, we're trying to eliminate all those kind of discrepancies. So, in that regard, we're trying to adopt agile. The highest priority of agile is to what? Is to satisfy the customer. Another thing is that agile made it possible to welcome change, welcome to change. How do I put it? Yeah, to welcome change, even late, even if it is late, even if it's late in the project development, in the development. Yep. I mean, so as I explained in our last class that we Agile actually create a communication link between the project owner, which is the consumer, the project managers, and the developers. So even if the project is at 90% done, and the project owner has one interest, because there is like an efficient communication system between them, it's difficult for the project owners to have like a late, what's it called, a late contribution. But even if it happen with agile manifestos, it will be very easy for the developers to redact the code, for the project owners to follow the change process. Another principle behind this agile is that it's delivering working software. Because working software, I will talk about it later. So with agile, we are concerned about delivering a working software. Let's say frequently, with a preference to a shorter time scale, with a preference to a shorter time scale. What this implies is that we are not only trying to manage the software which we are developing, our project, but we're still trying to focus on the time we use on the project. So we have these two as our top concern at in a complementary manner, not one at a time. So let's put another principle behind the Agile Manifesto is that working software. Yeah, let's say working software. Working software is the primary measure of progress. So this do come out in your exam, in the certification exam. Working software is the primary measure of progress. I mean, is the software working? Yes, we are progressing. What this means is that in every stage of the project, we test the code, we test the project. I mean, stage one, before moving from stage one to stage two, we test. From stage two to stage three, we test. From stage three to four, we test. So it's not possible that maybe at the tail end of the project, we're not saying, yeah, the software is not working. Or if it's not working here, we know that maybe there is error here between these interlink. So it's difficult to say the project has issues from the onset. So the only measure of progress to know that this project is progressing in agile methodology is what? Is the working software. Another principle behind this rationale of adopting agile methodology, that's why agile is like a very lucrative project at present, is that business people and developer must work together throughout the project. So agile made it possible for business people and developers must work together throughout the project. So agile made it possible for business people and the developer to work together at a particular time, so that with that it should be like there will be an efficient communication, as I've explained. So another thing, you come across this one in exam, I noted it down there before I memorized it, was that agile ensure that we build project among motivated individual. Building project among motivated individuals. So this particular point is very important. Sometimes someone might not be interested in your work, but you can't know. But because you guys have like an efficient communication system, you meet all the time, there is transparency, there is inspection, you'll have known that this man is not interested in this work. Let's replace him in the early run of the project before we go far. So Agile made it possible to work with people that are motivated. So building project among motivated individuals. So one of the principles behind Agile again is that we realize that through Agile process, for example, in Scrum, because I specialize in Scrum, and Scrum is the most common form of Agile methodology. So there's what we call sprint meeting. So what this implies is that there will be like a face-to-face conversation every 2 weeks. So with Agile methodology, we realize that face-to-face conversation is the most efficient and effective method of conveying info. Face-to-face conversation is the most efficient and effective method of conveying info, and effective method of conveying information. So another thing is that teams should maintain constant pace to promote sustainable development. Team should maintain constant pace to promote sustainable development. What does this mean? In Agile, what makes Agile different from project management is that Agile ensure like incremental process, like everybody should put hand to the work at the same time. Everybody should start working at the same work. So before we can prove, if we want to like promote a sustainable development that no one is lagging and neither no one is lacking, is that team should maintain a constant pace. Everybody should begin to work. Yap, yap, yap. So we are growing, work, 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 work. So this is like one major benefit of the agile process. Another one I noted here is that continuous attention. And the funny thing is that all of these notions do comes out in the exam. So continuous attention to technical excellence and good design enhance agility. Yeah, I remember noted this down. So we are more concerned about agility. I mean, how agile is the work. So the only way to achieve this is continuous attention to technical excellence. Continuous attention to technical excellence and good design. So if we have like technical excellence, I mean all the technicalities involved in the project is accurate and the design is sophisticated enough, that means our project is agile. That's it. One more thing I can add to it, let me think, since I have one I wrote down. Yeah, simplicity. So we valued simplicity. Simplicity. Simplicity is essential. We valued simplicity. So the meaning of simplicity in agile is like we are trying to like maximizing the amount of work not done. So we valued simplicity. So another one, let me make this the final, is that the best architect, the best architecture rather, and design emerge from self-organizing team. Emerge from self-organizing team. I mean, if I have a very good team, we can produce a very good software. So all these principles and many more actually brought up the Agile Manifestos. The Agile Manifestos. So Agile has 4 basic manifestos. The first one is individual and interaction. Individual and interaction. Let me write it in this format. The second one is working software, which I made mention of earlier. Working software. The third one is customer collaboration. And the fourth one is responding to change. Yeah. So these are the 4 manifestos of Agile: individual and interaction. We want people to like all our workers to interact, like, and we value their individual emotional strength, etc. So we valued everything about them. So we also valued working software. We valued our customers to collaborate with us so that we can have like we can be in the same term. And the last one is to respond to change at any particular instance of the project. So, but the way we used to like pronounce it in the industry, I mean, we said this is a framework. So the way it works is that we say individuals and interaction are preferred. We prefer individual and interaction over process and tools. So in project management, it's all about this is how we used to do our thing. No, this is how we used to do our things. Oh, but in agile, we rather valued individual and interaction over our process. Like not these are all our machines, our tools are working, etc. So that's one. Another thing is that working software. So we preferred having a working software over what comprehensive documentation. So in agile process, if anyone comes at any particular instant of the project, maybe they just call up a meeting tomorrow. So you can easily run the software. So the third manifesto of agile is that customer collaboration, and we actually preferred our customers to collaborate with us over contract negotiation. So in agile, we want to act like a professional always. Not that we discuss money today, tomorrow we'll be coming with another negotiation pattern. So we value like collaborate with our customer to have good time with them so that we can have like continuous projects. I mean, if you do this, you will contact us for another one tomorrow, etc. So we valued collaboration, customer collaboration over contract negotiation. So, and the last one, which is the fourth Agile Manifesto, is that responding to change. So, we want the system we are building to be responsive to change and our workers to be responsive to change. So, we valued it over following a plan. You could have met people or some organizations and you realize the way they are doing stuff are not that efficient. But it may be difficult to correct. You have to talk to the project manager. If you talk to what's it called site engineer, they'll tell you this is how we used to do it in our firm. I am saying what you are doing is not efficient. You are telling me this is how you used to do it. So with agile, we want the system to be responsive to change such that if the project owner or the consumer just say you want this at any particular instant, the system should be robust enough such that they can easily modify it and tune to meet the customer expectation. So these are the four manifestos of agile. These are the four major reasons we are trying to like adopt agile principle. So in our next class, I'll be discussing about Scrum. Keep tuned and don't forget to like and subscribe.